But I will say this. There are a lot of people that are sitting up here today. My partner in crime on First Take, Max Kellerman, apologizing to Dave Gettleman, the general manager for the New York Giants. I ain't giving Gettleman no damn apology. Props to Gettleman and Shermer for picking their guy, Daniel Jones. All of that is true. I would remind everybody what the critique was when the NFL draft took place in Nashville a few months ago. If y'all recall, it was not that Daniel Jones could not play. It was not that he was some scrub or something like that. That was not the issue. The issue with the New York Giants picking Daniel Jones was that they passed on Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State, who threw 50 touchdowns in one season for the Ohio State last year. That was the issue. And because Case Keenum's playing so well, we haven't gotten an opportunity to see Haskins yet in the nation's capital. To me, Gettleman and Shermer are only out of the woods with Daniel Jones if Haskins proves to be worse than Daniel Jones. If Haskins is better, you're still going to have people saying, what the hell you passed up on Haskins for? But we haven't been able to see him yet because Case Keenum's been throwing the football in the nation's capital, and the rest of us, as a result, have been forced to have to deal with that. But Daniel Jones deserves a whole lot of credit on this day. Congratulations to him. He was special yesterday. I think he's shown tremendous promise. I love the fact that he's in there instead of Eli. I had no problem with Shermer going with the change this early because guess what? Eli, it wasn't his fault. But I will say this. There are a lot of people that are sitting up here today. My partner in crime on First Take, Max Kellerman, apologizing to Dave Gettleman, the general manager for the New York Giants. I ain't giving Gettleman no damn apology. Props to Gettleman and Shermer
Bears defense
for picking their guy, Daniel Jones.
Intercepted. That is Clinton Dix.
Defense just completely dominate and wreck the game for Washington, possibly their season.
Keenum tried to go up and over, and the ball came out.
We expect to come out and try to dominate football teams.
0-3, you drafted a quarterback in the first round, chance that you can make a switch at that position.
If I didn't think we had a chance to get better, then I would make a change. But I feel like Case has the tools to get us some victories here moving forward.
The Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guests on the Stephen A. Smith Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line.
$32 minutes past hour number one back here in the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. 888-SAY-ESPN is always the number to call up. This 888-729-3776. If you missed my opening segment, go check it out on demand in the Stephen A. Smith podcast, brought to you by the Capital One Quicksilver Card, earning unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. Hey, what's in your wallet? 888-SAY-ESPN is always the number to call up. That's 888-729-3776. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Aaron. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me, Aaron. What's up?
Stephen A., the Raiders threw $100 million at John Gruden. I can't imagine they were throwing it at the wall, but he bungled the Khalil Mack situation, and he's now bungled the Antonio Brown situation.
Whoa. Stop right there. Stop. Two things in fairness to John Gruden. A, he wanted to go the offensive route. He's an offensive guy. He got rid of Khalil Mack. He got rid of Amari Cooper, who's a number one receiver. Didn't understand that one. Okay. And kept Derek Carr. Okay. In the case of Antonio Brown, I am not blaming anybody for that but Antonio Brown. Nobody could have predicted that kind of behavior. When have we seen it before, Aaron? When have we seen it before?
But what I do blame him for is letting Antonio Brown get all that public and not pursuing it.
What are you talking
He
about?
let Antonio Brown play him like a fool. He made the Raiders look like fools for signing him in the first place when they weren't. 'Cause
He was
what
soft.
did the Patriots do?
You can make that argument. He was soft in handling Antonio, but that was probably because of the commitment that he made to him, and he wanted to exhaust all options necessary. But nobody could have predicted that Antonio Brown was going to act that way, who, by the way, is now enrolled in online classes at his alma mater, Central Michigan, by the way. Let's make sure we give him a round of applause for pursuing his education. Also, he can act uneducated when he wants to. Anyway, go ahead.
That's true. And you can't blame John because even after all that, the Patriots turned around and still signed Antonio Brown. So none of that must have been detractors from signing such a talent. But what's it going to take for the Oakland Raiders? What level of unsuccess does it take for the Oakland Raiders to give John Gruden the boot?
Well, I no, he's not going anywhere. You gave him $100 million. You stuck with John Gruden. You
For
stuck
10
with him.
years? You're just going to keep him around for 10 years?
I'm just saying, maybe not 10 years, but you're going to be stuck with him for the next several years. You gave him $100 million. You gave him $100 million, and John Gruden is synonymous with the Raiders, and you're going to move to Las Vegas. John Gruden ain't going no damn place for the time being. You can get over that dream. Appreciate the call, though. Thank you. Let's go to Mitch. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Mitch?
Hey, Stephen A. How you doing, bud?
I'm all right. Go ahead, man.
Hey, just want to get your opinion here on who you think is going to win the NFC North. I personally think it's between the Vikings and Green Bay, but just kind of want to get your thoughts on that.
I'm going to go with Green Bay. Here's why I'm going to go with Green Bay. They got the number 2 ranked defense in the NFL. For a change, Aaron Rodgers has a defense. He hasn't been great. Only completed 61% of his passes. He's got 4 touchdowns, no interceptions on the season. The QBR of 46. He has been less than stellar, no doubt about it. But how long do we think that's going to last? We don't think that's going to last long with Aaron Rodgers, right? Meanwhile, your competition is Mitchell Trubisky and Kirk Cousins. Who do you think I'm picking?
No, I completely understand that. But you do have to admit in that game 2 weeks ago, the Vikings and Green Bay, if they would have ran the ball Dalvin Cook on the goal line when they were in first and goal, they would have won that game.
Maybe
they
so.
shut them down.
Maybe so. But the fact of the matter is the Vikings find ways to lose. And that's usually the case with Kirk Cousins, who had an absolutely awful game. And you know that. Regardless of their chances, the fact of the matter is the biggest reason they had a chance is because Kirk Cousins played like trash.
All right. When do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be the bad man that you're always talking about?
A few weeks. He's there with Matt LaFleur. And they got to figure it out. They got to get on the same page. That's all. Once that happens, watch what Aaron Rodgers does. I'm not worried about it in the slightest. Appreciate the call. Zorita, you're live with Stephen A. on ESPN Radio.
Stephen A. Smith.
How are you? How you doing?
I'm amazing. I think you are the cat's meow. I watch you in the morning. I'm listening to you now at work. My coworker said I would never get through to you, and look, I got through to you.
Yes, you did. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you so much for calling.
Much. Thank you.
How may I help you? What's on your mind?
Well, just a quickie. Don't hang up on me because I know you're quick to do that to people. The AB thing, I think that there's more to come with it. There are other athletes that have done worse, and because there are 2 sets of rules, and you know what I'm talking about, I think that you guys are being a little tough, understanding that there are other people before him, and I'm sure after him, that will do the same, if not worse.
Time out. I think that here's the difference, and I'd like you to comment once I finish. I think the difference, what you're missing about my disgust with Antonio Brown is that we're talking usually about people who hurt themselves, blow their money, get themselves in trouble, do those kind of things. The kind of stuff that he has done, he's hurt other people. Mike Tomlin threw him under the bus, backstabbed his teammate Juju Smith-Schuster, called Ryan Clark and Uncle Tom, acted like a belligerent child with the whole helmet issues, filing not 1 but 2 grievances against the NFL over helmet issues that was never an issue because they had put in the locker rooms 5 years in advance that they would be changing the helmets in this particular upcoming season, which he knew well in advance, okay? You got all of that going on. Then he threatens a general manager, calls him out of his name and threatens to punch him in the face. Okay. Then he stands John Gruden up for a meeting, and then when the agent Drew Rosenhaus gets him on the phone, he secretly tapes himself and John Gruden talking and posts the damn thing on YouTube. Those are the kind of things, Sarita, I'm talking about. You could talk about people may have done worse in terms of criminal activity or whatever the case may be. But by and large, and we're certainly not talking about those involved with domestic violence issues because clearly they harmed other people. And they shouldn't have been in the league either, to be quite honest with you. But when you really, really look at it, the bottom line is the issue in question is that Antonio Brown has hurt himself. He's hurt other people. He hasn't hurt himself. And I think that's why you see the level of disgust aimed in his direction.
Hurt himself, and I think, like I said, there's more to come with his story. I think there are other issues, maybe psychological, that are going to come to pass, and I think that people should take that into account.
Well, let me ask you a question. Zarita. Are you a black woman?
I am.
If a white guy was in the National Football League and he was expressing or displaying some of the same issues, would you be as understanding in using CTE, mental issues, or whatever the case may be to explain away his behavior?
Yes, because mental issues have nothing to do with color.
Right. I agree with you. But you do understand that most people aren't as fair-minded as you and I, right?
That is true. We're amazing people, so there you go.
There we go. Zarita, call back anytime. I appreciate it. Thank you so much,
my call.
Thank you for calling. I appreciate it. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. Back with more of your calls in a minute. Zarita did have a lovely voice, John. I must admit that. She had a wonderful, wonderful voice. It's looking nice talking to her. You're listening live to Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News.
Your radio, your